That's killed it.
You made the decision to play Thiago. Klopp doesn't change the system. Since move back left. You don't want to change from the 4-3.
What's going on? What's going on? Back again. Oi, big up everyone that's tuning into the Jerry James show. Now, obviously, if you're coming in, hit that, obviously, like, subscribe if you're new, and make sure you're comment in the chat below. I got a special guest, guys. Big up for everyone in the comments. I'm going to add him in now. The OG himself, Mr. Sensational, the brother that just took over Saints' live stream. It's man like Roms.
Come on, bro.
What are you telling me?
First of all, love for having me, bro. Love for having me. I'm proud to be on this journey with you, and that first show and that first guest means a lot. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, man. Like, obviously, you hopping in and everything. You done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Praise up to you because you took over Saints' channel and you made it your own and you done your thing, man. You done your thing. So big up, man. Big up promo. Obviously, if you're in the chat and that, most people will be catching us on a replay. So obviously, we're gonna chop up just obviously the midfield situation, innit? Obviously, we signed Darwin Núñez. We've obviously got in Ramsey now, Fabio Carvalho earlier in the window. Now, what we're trying to see is cool. What's going on with the midfielders? Like Paul Joyce is saying that we're not getting that. That's it. Transfer thing done. Darmish from Sky Sports is saying that we're actually signing someone, innit? So the interesting thing to talk about is like, what's your thoughts on it, Roms? Like, what were you saying?
Liverpool, we're always incognito. Like, even when I first heard Paul Joyce saw the tweet that Liverpool aren't likely to make any more signings, I never believed it. Like, he's very accurate. Don't get me wrong. Probably our top journalist along with Pierce, but I didn't believe it because we do things very like subliminal. So I never really fed into it. And then today, it was even on the stream that someone broke out to me and said, yeah, Army from Sky is now revealed no, Liverpool are in for someone. So you never, this is what I mean about some of the rumourville. You never really know what to believe. But I do feel by the time the window is closed, we have a midfielder. And I do feel we'll have a quality one. Because I've got a question for you, bro. Like, are you sold on these Asensio links? Because I'm all for it. I'm on that train.
Bro, I'm at the loop. What are we saying? Asensio's looking like he's trying to leave Madrid.
Bro, 35 million. He's in his last year of his contract. Apparently, he's not signing an extension. So I'm all for it.
You know what? Asensio's not bad, you know. Not
and
bad. He can play in that centre as well. Cover for Salah. He can play
Exactly, bro. Exactly. I'm all for, and for the price, you know, if it was for 50, 60, then I'll kind of turn a blind eye. But 35 million, that's chicken change in the modern day market, bro.
No, it's a ridiculous still. But my issue is obviously Basuma was on a 25 million thing, and we didn't even make a bid.
Yeah. But with that being said, Jerry, because I do feel like we're a club of values. Not saying Spurs aren't, but you know he has that case that he's not 100%. You don't really know what's going on. I didn't think we wanted to delve into that too much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, to be fair, the way Liverpool move, obviously we don't obviously like that and stuff.
Exactly.
But, in terms of midfielders, so obviously we're talking Asensio. Obviously Jude Bellingham is the name on everyone's lips at the moment. Steven Gerrard reincarnated. Some people are calling him. Obviously, I'm not putting too much pressure on him, but
yeah,
how are you feeling about that? About him coming to potentially take that number 8 in the future, innit?
You know what, Jerry? Yeah, it's well documented. I've said it on a lot of streams. I've tweeted about it a lot. You might even look at me like, oh, Robs, that's too much pressure to put on him. But I believe if he stays on the straight and narrow, stays dedicated to football, because you know you can have a lot of off-field antics, especially as a young player. And I don't want to put too much pressure on him, but I honestly believe he could potentially become England's best ever midfielder. And it's mad to say, ahead of the Lampards, the Scholes, the Gascoignes, the Gerrards, because I've seen him at age 17 boss a Pep midfield. And not once, twice. And not only just that, Rangers aren't the best of teams, but it's still a harder way ground to go to. He's been doing it in the Champions League now, which is, let's say, that the pinnacle of club football at age 17. And I just feel he's exactly what we need. Can defend, can attack. He's combative. he's got a big presence. He can dribble. What? Because everyone always says, why you don't put too much pressure on him? Why are you hyping him up so much? But then I ask people, what can't he do at his age? And they're kind of scratching their head. I feel we have to act in the manner we did with Naby, though. I feel the only way we can secure him this summer is by loaning him back for a year. I don't think we can actually pay for him and get him this summer. Dortmund to sell their 2 starlets, bro.
But then the question is, does that benefit us? Because obviously the topic of the stream today is obviously we're putting the midfield on hold. Obviously, news has come out from Darmesh, obviously stating about, you know what I mean, when we might go and make a signing. But ultimately, if we don't get a midfielder in this summer, how does that affect our chances, obviously, competing in the Champions League and obviously the Prem as well, isn't it?
And this is what I was alluding to. I honestly believe this, Jay, that a midfielder will be the difference between whether we win the title or not. I honestly believe that, because especially against the low blocks, we rely too much on our flanks. But I think if we have that midfielder that can maybe just unlock defenses or even just shoot from range, because let's be honest, Jerry, we don't really have a goal-scoring midfielder. The nearest we have is to Ox, but he's not a regular starter. And even in Fabinho was, I think, the first month or two, up until that mid-Feb, in 2022, was our highest goal scorer, but we knew that wasn't sustainable. So we don't really have that goal-scoring midfield. Now, I think against the low-block teams, if you have someone that can score from range, I think it will benefit us in the long run, because especially with Mane leaving, he's our second biggest player when it comes to output. So we do need to. I just feel we need goals from centrally as well.
Yeah. But what happens if we don't get that midfielder in now? Because obviously, big up to Mark A, obviously in the chat, always been a supporter as well when I've come on a couple of streams. So big up. But even Mark A staying, obviously waiting for Bellingham until next summer means sacrificing another Premier League. Now, obviously, that's a big thing for me, because where we are as a club, it means that we're trying to obviously win now. We're not building like we did 5 years ago, where it's like, I'll grab a catering because we're still challenging. We've never, like, we need the player now. We need someone that can go and play 30, 40 games, get us, 10 goals and 10 assists from midfield, like, on a consistent basis. So obviously not having that type of player, how does that impact us, obviously, our chances? Because me personally, if we don't get that player in, I do agree with Marque. Like, I think it's difficult. What changes? What changes from last season?
Exactly. Because what I will say, Jerry, Champions League, I think we can win with our current squad. I genuinely believe that, because I'm not going to say the competition's about luck, but we've seen miracles. Our miracle, even Chelsea 2012 going to the Camp Nou with 10 men, like. It's more about luck, injury, suspension, and a bit of heritage. Champions League, I think we always have a chance to win that. But Premier League's where the word consistency is the number one thing. And where there's been times against low blocks, or let's say Salah and Mane haven't had their best game, and you're kind of scratching your head like, where's the goal going to come from? So I completely agree with you and Mark A. I feel like a midfield is the difference whether we win the league or not. I honestly believe that, bro.
Yeah, man. Like, for me, I think it's imperative that, look, you want the midfielder in coming in now, and ideally, I don't see why Liverpool, if we're gonna get obviously Bellingham in, you might as well just try to get him in now. You might as well go and pay 10 mil extra and get him in now, because if you go and win the Prem, you win the Champions League, you're gonna make that back. You're gonna make that back anyway. So for me, I just don't understand why we'd have to. Obviously, I understand securing the future, and I hear you having the Bellingham. But let me put a question to you. Let's say we had a choice, and it's like we get Bellingham next year, or we get, let me throw a name in there, goal scoring midfielder, Maddison or Neves from Wolves for this season.
See,
what are you saying about that?
I'm hearing that because, again, with a Neves or Maddison, they score. They scored, you know what I mean? And it's not just about scoring. It's just about creating as well. Like, other than Thiago, and like I said, availability is best. Availability can be your best ability. Thiago isn't guaranteed to play the whole season. We know that's a player we have to wrap in cotton wool sometimes. So I'm all for that. I am actually all for that. And even, let me ask you something. Would you take Tielemans on a 25-30 million year left?
When it comes to 100%. I know there's this slander about Tielemans. I know there's this slander saying that you can't run, you ain't got the fitness. But you know that stuff you can work on.
Exactly.
That type of stuff, like athleticism and fitness, that stuff that we've seen when Gomez came to the club, he was proper bulked up, and do you know what I mean, from Charlton, because he's playing in a different league. He had to come down, he had to slim down. Do you know what I mean? They'll put him on a plan and everything.
It can even work vice versa. Remember when Coutinho first came in and he was skin and bone and he put on a bit of
Even Salah, since Salah's come to the club, he's put on a bit of Mane. Like, it happens. They'll obviously Liverpool's department will nurture you to a point where it's like cool. Like, do you know what I mean? You're gonna be that. You're going to be perfect for what we're trying to do. So if they need legs in the midfield, you're going to run more, innit? If they need you to be quicker, you're going to lose that couple pounds. I mean,
you know what else as well, Jerry? Like, and Klopp will be a hypocrite if he doesn't do this season. He's always said squad's tired, squad's fatigued. We need more sub. There's now a 5 sub rule now. So let's say if Tielemans was to tire around the 65th minute, that a lot of Liverpool fans are saying he does, which to be fair, when I do watch Leicester, he does seem to tire around that 60-70 minute mark. You can hook him off. We've got 5 subs now, and finally you've been calling for this Klopp. You've got it at your disposal. You're going to have to use it now. So I'm all for that. And Leicester, the year left, they're asking for no more than 30 million. Again, I think it's a no-brainer.
100%. And on top of that as well, with me, with Tielemans, is someone that he can dictate the game in a similar fashion to Thiago. I don't mean like he's all like as silky.
Yeah, I know exactly.
He can dictate the tempo of a game because he does that for Leicester. When he even plays as a double pivot with Ndidi, it's him that does that role and he's the destroyer. And then he can shoot from distance. We've seen it in the FA Cup. He can shoot from distance. And it means that you having a Nunes in and around that's obviously following in and obviously the shots. That's obviously something that I think we desperately need. I think Tielemans is a very, very good shout to everyone. Let me just obviously hit a couple of the comments quickly.
Big up Saint for that one, because I wasn't on the Tielemans train and he got me on the Tielemans
train. Big up Elias, man. Big up Elias. I see there. Yeah, we're going to talk about Ramsey as well. I see his DP there. So big up Elias. Eldest is saying that I think we're going to sign Asensio. Yeah, we'll touch on that a bit more because obviously Roms obviously brought me to the party because I was none the wiser. I had a mad busy day today, man.
It's only broke recently anyway.
Okay. Would he come from Madrid to Liverpool? Do you think? Although the price is good, although the price is good, but is that someone that you think we could get?
You know, the only reason why I say yes, it's got a year left. I'm not sure if Ancelotti is the biggest admirer of him. Normally he introduces him into games. And just a few stats for you, Jerry. Like last season, he played 31 La Liga games. I think only 12 were starts, and he got 10 goals. That's a goal every 3 games in theory. 10 league goals, that is not all competition. So 31 games in the league, 10 league goals. And I feel Klopp's a big admirer of him. Do you remember even after we won the league, we were linked with him? We've been linked with him a couple summers. Klopp is a big admirer. And I was going to say to you, don't buy into this myth that he's injury prone, because he did his ACL, and we all know that me and you have history of playing. That injury is hard to go. Even as Liverpool fans, you've seen what's happened to Gomez and that. It's about a 9 months to a year spell out. But other than that, there's this myth that he's injury prone. He's really not. He's played 30 plus games 3 times in 3 campaigns in the last 5 seasons for Real Madrid. So he's not. He just had that one bad injury that kind of clouded people's.
Yeah, and he's obviously he's not starting every game as well, isn't he? He's not
exactly. He's not getting that
30 games, not starting. I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad. Like you compare it to a Naby or someone. They're playing Naby. This is Naby's best season with about 42 appearances in all comps. So it's not. It's not that disparity is not great. So yeah, man. Mark A. Let me just pick that up. Also, every club will want Bellingham. We could be waiting for a player who won't even join us. Exactly. Because that's my point. It's that we go and try to do this Bellingham thing. It's like, obviously, if we get him in this summer for next season, obviously that's guaranteed. So from next summer, the full revolution of the midfield will happen. But if it's a thing where, we're not going to buy him this yet, like we tried to do with Diaz. We're not going to buy him yet. We're just going to obviously buy him next summer when more funds get available. What happens then? If we fall off the bandwagon or a couple of players leave, Jude Bellingham's mind might change. He might go and look at Liverpool and be like, actually, you know what? I want to join X, Y, Z. And you miss out on the target. And not only that, you've based your whole plan around having this player that for next season to obviously go and challenge and win the Prems and the Champs. But you've missed out on this season as well. So ultimately, 2 seasons go down the drain without winning the Prem or Champs. And although, we challenge and stuff, I've been a massive advocate of that. But we've got to take that next step. Like, do you know what I mean? We get 98 points. It's all well and good. Do you know what I mean? But we as fans think it's a great season. Like, we've had great seasons, been a great ride. But when we look back on it, it's been a blue moon. We've had one prem.
Jerry, God forbid if they do it, it will be if they win it again. God forbid, it'll be 5 out of 6 and a three-peat 3 times. We just can't. We can't allow like the country. They won't like this, but they're relying on us. We need to stop this because we can't let them get a third in a row. But this is what I'll ask you. I know I'm with you and Mark. I do feel we should go out and get Bellingham this summer. But however, I'm trying to be realistic with it. This is why I want to get the deal done and possibly loan him out. Do you feel Borussia Dortmund will actually sell their 2 biggest players in the same window? I can see them selling it, like agreeing a fee, getting the deal done, and asking for him back for a season. Maybe it might be good for his development as well. But don't get twisted. I want him at the club, but I'm just trying to feel they might play hardball with it.
I think they will, but I think we've also seen with Bellingham, I mean, with Borussia Dortmund, is that they try to play hardball and they always end up selling the player for less. Although they make a profit from what they bought the player.
You're right. You're
right. Always go and end up. Do you know what I mean? Sancho, when United wanted Sancho, they were screaming 100 million. He ended up being around 70.
70 something. Yeah, you're right. So they kind of took
a massive chunk. You saw with Haaland, they tried to go and slap. It was 100 million as well.
And it went down to that 50.
They lied about the release clause. They lied about the release clause.
All right.
What I'm saying is that for me, especially in the position you're in now, it depends how Liverpool are looking at it. If they feel that at point where it's like, yeah, we can actually win now, and I think that's the kind of the motivations and the kind of the belief within the club. Do they feel, and the aspirations, do they feel they can win this like right now? Because if you feel you can win right now, you make the changes, you make the signs to win right now. 100%. And right now, apart from Nunes coming in, which obviously I'm a massive fan of, but and obviously it changes the way we play as well. We're not it's difficult within our team anyway, but we're not adding anything to be like, oh, you know what, we're going to win right now.
100%.
It's difficult, but we haven't gone and said, you know what, we're going to go and, apart from obviously slapping 80 mil on Nunes, but we haven't gone and said, you know what, Bellingham, here you go, 100 mil, deal with that.
Because that's the segue in what I was going to ask you. How much do you reckon we have to throw at Dortmund? Because you do know we made the most money this season in revenue. We've overtaken United. We've made 600 million. Actually, no, big up Ram. It's a bit more, 615 million in revenue last season. So we do have money. It's there. It is there.
The money's 100%. The money's there, and we're at our strongest financially. I think that's why you've seen obviously the way we've approached the Nunes signing, and obviously it may look massive at first hand, but obviously when you break it down and you look at where we are as a club, the fact that we're earning more than we ever have, then we're going to spend more than we ever have. That's how it is, isn't it?
Makes sense.
But with Bellingham, they signed him for 30 million, yeah? 30 mil from Birmingham? You're looking at, for me, 70 minimum. That's with Julian Ward grabbing up that Borussia Dortmund CEO in a headlock. Do you know what I mean? Like,
would you potentially chuck in a player in that? Maybe a Naby or a...
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. A Naby, for me,
because I think a 70 million by itself, I think they'll just laugh. They'll just probably shut the email or whatever. They'll laugh at the bid. But I think a 70 million and maybe a Naby or even an Ox just chucking a player, I think that will pull their arm a bit.
You know what I would do, to be fair? And I've actually thought about it just now. I'm the biggest, obviously, Curtis Jones fan in that.
Same. I'm with you in this.
I think Curtis Jones ain't being used to, obviously, his best potential. I think when you play midfield for Klopp, your creativity's gone, innit?
100%.
Because in the youth academy, he was a baller. Like, goals from outside the box, he played on the left, in the 10. So obviously,
sorry to cut you, bro. Even that game against Everton, like his first goal for Liverpool, he was in the 10, pretty much the 10 that advanced in the 3. And look what you got from him.
Where Klopp just told him, just play your game, innit? Just play your game. Like, do you know what I mean? Like he's done with Diaz. Just play your game. Don't worry about all tactics. Just play your game. And he was able to do that. But what I would actually do, thinking about it, because Jones at the moment, if you're looking, he's not going to play, right? He's not going to start. He's not going to play unless something changes in pre-season. Based on last season, he's 5th in rotation after Naby.
And now Elliott and Carvalho, I think Klopp even has them 2 above him as well.
Yeah, but in terms of minutes played last season, I think it was obviously you get Fab, Hendo, and Thiago, Naby, and then it's obviously Curtis. They've played the most minutes.
Wait, he may have been 6. Did he play more minutes than Ox?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I think Ox had more starts because I think he played.
But Curtis had more.
Well. But I think in midfield, I think he had a couple more minutes. But remember, Ox, even though he was coming in, he weren't like the next in line to play midfield. He would play out wide. So, but with Curtis Jones, for me, maybe send him to Dortmund with a buyback clause.
I can hear that
because he's someone that I could see at Dortmund. He could.
Even, you know what? I've never actually thought of that, Jay. Big up yourself because that is a shout. That bring back buyback clause. He'll have consistent starts. I think he'll tear that league apart. Play Champions League regular. It'll be good for his
whole. He'll understand. Do you know what I mean, the role of an 8. He might play in the 10. He might play out. Bellingham's played out wide as well for Dortmund as well on the left. Curtis Jones is a similar type of player. The only difference is that obviously he's not getting the game time. And I think with Bellingham, I think when you're signing a player like that, he's got to have assurances that he's going to play.
100%.
It can't be a thing where you sign him and he's just doing with Curtis Jones. Yeah. So if Curtis Jones isn't going to play from next season, I say do that now. Do that now because, do you know what I mean? Jones is obviously only getting older. I think he's at 22 now.
Yeah, just turned
21. So yeah, I'd say he's definitely got. I want him to play, but if he's not going to play, then obviously you get him on loan. Let me just obviously fly through the comments because there's a couple here.
Big up everyone in the comments, man. They're actually flying in, man.
Yeah, man. I'm surprised, man. Big up seven people watching. Loads of people on the repeat as well. So big up, man. You guys are the OGs. So when we like, do you know what I mean? When we blow up, you guys are gonna come up as well. No doubt. I love it. Obviously, we need at least 2 midfielders anyway. Might as well get one now instead of waiting for Bellingham next summer. Exactly.
100%.
Especially if it's going to help us do what we need to do this summer. Is that we might as well do that because we can't rely. Like, although Thiago and Naby Keita are good, we can't. Do you know what I mean? We can't rely on them because of their injuries. We just can't. Eldest is staying. I can see that we're going to play 4-2-3-1 because Darwin. Yeah, because of Darwin. Average link-up play, and you can't play our old 4-3-3 system. Yeah, 100%. I think the whole link-up play argument, I think it's a bit overplayed. Reason being is because link-up play is different. If Giroud has link-up play where the ball gets into him and it sticks and he's high up the field and he's on the last man and he can hold up his centre-back or the defender and he's high up the pitch. Bobby, Benzema, their type of link-up play, even Mane when he was playing in the 9. For me, I don't know what you think, Roms, but he's going, that touch is taking him deep into midfield. And he ends up next to Fabinho. Then he's pivoting and he's trying to play in a Salah or, do you know what I mean? Or,
what they'll do, they'll drop in, want to receive it on the half turn, then they'd still have to then go up further up the field.
Exactly.
I know exactly.
Whereas a Nunes type of hold-up play, it's more difficult. You got to think of that. He's not someone that's trying to go and come deep. You don't mind not having the ball, and I think that's important to go and remember because that the reason why it's important to have a number 9 like that is because they're constantly on the shoulder. So when they're trying to receive the ball and they've pinned their centre back. If they've pinned their centre back, they're getting pressed. So of course the touch might be off sometimes because they're going to be barge off the ball. But it means that your team creeps up the pitch.
100%.
It just depends on how you play. But I hear you. I do believe, like Eldest, I do believe that we're going to play a 4-2-3-1 because obviously Darwin, I think, is just we need him down the middle, innit? Like, I don't want to see him drifting out left and then Diaz in the middle and no.
I'm with you now because certain Liverpool fans have said he's versatile, can play on the left and half. Just keep Nunes in the middle. Not for now, anyway. Just keep him in the middle. We don't need to be on the left just yet.
Do you know what I mean? We've got Diaz for that, and I think Diaz is the type of winger where it's just old school, old fashioned. I'm beating my fullback, and do you know what I mean? And then we go from there, innit? Then we go from there, and I think that's important because especially when you got Salah. Salah's not doing that.
100%.
Touch on Salah as well. Obviously, Promo saying, what's stopping Man City going for Bellingham next season? They may need one as well. Exactly. And Guardiola's seen him live, like he's seen him in the flesh.
Those two performances, if you've not seen them, just go back and watch. I couldn't believe what I was seeing from a 17-year-old. He even scored in the first game, but it's true. And the things with City, they'll just rise up the money and they'll offer him more than us as well. Money does talk. Let's be honest, it just does in the modern game. So
100%, and that's what I'm saying is that we need to if we're planning to get him for next season, And we don't want, even if the Liverpool's plans that, you know what, this guy is too young. We don't really want to play him. Do you know what I mean? Like straight away, we want to ease him into Liverpool because that's obviously big pressure. And we're going to keep Nabbies and your Thiago still for next season, and they're going to be the main ones. Then you have to get him now. You have to get him now because you can't take that risk because we've seen it. What happens with Tchouaméni? Do you know what I mean? Tchouaméni's gone, and now what happens? Do you know what I mean? Now we're going to have to try to find another DM.
You know, big up yourself as well, because this is similar to the Nunes situation. You're happy we got him early because you wouldn't want him to have another good season and then all the big clubs want him. Like that's why I remember you were saying we need to be proactive instead of reactive. That's our problem because we normally are proactive. But
exactly, you look at Dortmund. Do you know what I mean? When we played Gwen and Haaland stuff, there was a couple of people saying, yeah, we should grab Haaland and all of that type of thing. But we never knew Haaland was going to be what he is now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Minamino was better than in that game. In the game that we played,
he was their star, man. Yeah.
And Juan He-Chan, who's obviously was at Wolves last season.
Yeah.
They were better than Haaland. Haaland came on and he looked a bit like, I know he got the goal when he played obviously at Anfield, but he wasn't great. He didn't look like his hot touch was great and he didn't look great. But what Dortmund did is that, and they're obviously at a different stage than us. They're just like, oh, you know what, we're gonna go and grab him. And 30 mil looks a bit like, oh, like even Bellingham. If Liverpool bought Bellingham for a 17-year-old for 30 million, who had only played 20 games in the Championship for Birmingham, not everyone would have been up in arms. How are we spending that type of money? That's too much. But then you look at what happens. You look at, do you know what I mean? You look at where he is now, and it's like we missed the trick there.
There's no risk, no reward. You might as well get them early whilst they're talented and just nurture them. I know exactly what you mean, bro, and. It's annoying kind of when we do it because even that's one thing I give Dortmund praise for. They even did it with you said they even did it with another player we linked with Adeyemi, I think you pronounce his name.
Adeyemi, yeah, they've done the same thing. Yeah,
we should have been in for him. He was keen. I was hearing the Bayern list, but the minute Bayern weren't serious, we should have been in for him. But Dortmund do that; they'll pinch you young. Even the Julian Bronze, the Makuka, I think, came from their academy. I can't remember. They actually do that. We can actually take, as much as they are a selling club eventually, we can actually take a leaf out of their book. You're 100%. Right. Let's get them
100%. Obviously, and it is obviously, I understand, obviously, people say it's risky and stuff, but that's what you have to do to get to that next level because the way we're playing it now, do you know what I mean? We ain't won to what we should have. We haven't won the Prems and the Champs that we've been discussing. So, yeah. What he's saying, Tielemans is very similar to Ox, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I'd say Ox was a bit more dynamic.
Yeah,
I mean, a bit more pace to him. I think Tielemans is a bit more technical. I think he understands the 8 position much better. I think IQ is higher, but Ox 100% is obviously. Yeah, I can see the similarities with the goal scoring as well and the shots from outside the box. Promo saying, what is the centre's wages? Do you know, Rums?
That's a good question. I actually don't. I just know he has a year left, and I don't think he's in Ancelotti's plans for next season. But that is actually a good print. Anyone in the comments, if you actually, no, I'll check now. I'll check what his wages are.
If someone in the comments obviously can get it as well quicker, then obviously big up to you guys because that's quite interesting. Because if you promo stay in here as well, like obviously we have to play accountant.
Yeah, it's true. It's actually true.
A maths degree, man. A maths degree.
That's the whole reason why. That's the whole reason why Salah's not signed, isn't it?
Yeah,
but we have a structure there. We should get into that as well.
Yeah, we'll do once we obviously. I'll fly through the comments and we can actually do that now. Let me just catch up. Because actually, big up to everyone commenting, man. I appreciate it a lot, man. Ilias, I wouldn't mind if we sign a centre this season. It would be a good addition to our squad. 100%. I'm gonna have to look into that whole Asensio thing as well. Eldest again, staying. Madrid fans are not happy with Asensio this season. Many of them saying on social media that he's average and that he only has a good left leg. What is that? Because his right leg got injured, or?
According to Salary Sport, he is on in British sterling. He's on 117k a week.
Listen, if he comes to Madrid, he'll take a pay cut.
How much would you offer him? Because I think within our model, you could offer him 120, 130. That's what I was thinking. I think we can offer him a bit more, not much more, but extra.
Even to 150, even push it to 150. If Naby's on 130, 140, He's on a similar type of wage. I think you could easily do that. I think that doesn't destroy the wage structure at all.
That's what I'm saying.
And obviously, cool, we got that number 9. But if it means you've got an centre that can cover both, obviously, either side of the wing and the 10 position as well, because he's technically is that good. 100%. I think that's a no-brainer. I think that's actually a no-brainer from him. No, I've done that one already. Eldest, hold on 2 secs. Disappeared. Let's be real. For me, City and Real have a better chance to sign Bellingham next season because of wages. That's a big one. I think with Liverpool, we're a team that we're not going to go for the player and obviously Klopp stated it. I think remember when we wanted to sign Goetze early, and I think Goetze wanted to come, but said he only wants to come with this Champions League, and obviously Klopp responded by saying, like obviously reports state that, we want people to push the bus forward, not hop on the bus when it's driving.
When it's there,
On them lines. But so obviously, with a player like that, Bellingham, I think he has to look at it from a legacy standpoint. Can he be that Gerrard? Can he be that type of midfielder? Because that will put him in, obviously, will secure his legacy within, obviously, England and Liverpool as well. And I think that's the angle they're going to really go at. We're not going to go at the angle of, we're going to splash the money on players. And I think you can see it by the type of players we go and get. I think we're linked with Chouameni and stuff, but what's more important to you, our project and the way we move, or not? And I think that's why Mane's left. That's why, obviously not completed yet, but that's why Mane is on his way out. That's why Salah isn't signing, because the club, I think Klopp as well, is very comfortable saying, no, I don't want you to join for the money. And obviously, the way we're structured as well financially means that we're on an incentive-based model, which means that we want you to perform to the best of your abilities. You do that, you're going to get your money. But if you don't, then you're not going to get anything.
Just to add to the Bellingham thing, do you think this plays a part? Because I've always said money does talk, and Real Madrid and City will be able to offer Bellingham more wages now or even next summer. However, we all know at age 16 he went to Carrington, hated it, as we all do. That no one wants to go there, but he went to Carrington, didn't like it, and there's interviews. I remember the one he had with Reece James at someone must have asked him down for Gerrard. He said, come on, that's a silly question. Gerrard's his idol, and apparently he's a boyhood Liverpool fan. Do you feel this could play a part in it?
100%. I think that's the angle Liverpool will always go with. 100%. And I think they're the type of club. I'm pretty sure Bellingham came to actually view the club as well. I think Gerrard was there with him.
Yes.
Someone can confirm in the comments. I do believe that Gerrard actually spoke to Bellingham, and I think at the time, Bellingham just wanted reassurances of playing time, because at Dortmund he knew he'd get it. At Liverpool, he was coming as a 17-year-old, where it's just, boy, you're going to play some games in the under 23s. You're not going to come in, especially at the level that Liverpool are at, and that's what I'm trying to say. So, 100%. I think that's the route Liverpool will definitely go down. 2 set. Blue Rider. History will be kind to Klopp if FSG don't back him. Yeah,
I do hear it. We've been there and done it. We've seen this before.
But to me, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about it a bit mad, but Klopp's been backed, in my opinion. I feel Klopp is getting what he wants. I do feel that there's certain times, apart from the time with the centre backs, where he openly went and criticised, I need the centre backs, we've got an issue. He's always been comfortable. He's never, and I hear people are trying to say that, in the media, he's not going to go and say, I don't like this, and I'm disgruntled, and I don't like the way this is operating. But first of all, he wouldn't have signed an extension if that was the case. He wouldn't have joined Liverpool if that's the case. And I think you can see it with how he operates, because Tsimikas is a great example. We buy Tsimikas, he should play more games, and he doesn't.
Yeah.
Jones
you're actually right.
And he don't.
I don't think it's a bit hard to just scrutinize FSG. I feel like the funds are there. It's Klopp's stubbornness sometimes, and sometimes he just wants to wait for that player, knowing there's other options. But you're so right. You're actually so right. He has. I was thinking, has he been? Because I was thinking it's normally one big star per window, but when you actually look in hindsight, it's not, because when we got Alisson, we got Alisson, Fabinho, and Dak all within the same 12 months, similarly, or maybe even 6 months. So he actually has. And
I think what's quite ironic is that FSG always seem to spend big after a Klopp failure, and we were screaming. And what I mean by that is that the season that obviously we didn't win the Champions League with Real Madrid with the Karius situation.
Yeah.
Karius was someone that I guarantee you Klopp brought in. Klopp wanted Karius. Yeah. He was German. He was at Mainz. He wanted Karius. That was a hand-picked player.
It's been his only flop, if you think about it.
Yeah. And what I'm trying to say is that that's a hand-picked choice by Klopp. We only signed Alisson. Why? What happens? When Karius does that madness.
That's
not Klopp saying, actually, you know what? We're going to do this. I'm pretty sure that committee and stuff were actually, you know what? We're going to go and get that. We're override because Klopp, although Klopp is obviously the manager, he's not a manager like Fergie was. There's obviously, you got the purchasing team, you got you got the backroom staff that deal with that whole transfer committee. So they definitely went and said, you know what? No, we're grabbing up this player. You're getting this player, innit?
Yeah.
With Van Dijk, same thing. I know he wanted Van Dijk and he was tapping him up, but it's different. We're gonna go and get that player. You see Nunes. Oh, you're just getting that player.
Yeah.
And I think it's easy to go and look at, do you know what I mean, FSG, because you can hide behind it. But I think we've just got to understand as well that Klopp is allowing this type of the like this kind of, do you know what I mean, the ambience to happen like this, because otherwise you wouldn't move like that. As a manager, you just wouldn't. Like, you know what I mean? If your girl's moving mad, going out every week and then moving mad, and you're not saying anything, and she's not moving a certain way, you have to understand to a certain extent. It's like, you know what? I'm the reason she's doing that.
Yeah, because you're not putting your foot down harder. Yeah,
my foot down about, you know what, this is the boundary, or you know, or do you know what I mean? Or she's not respecting me. But either way, this is my fault. Do you get it? So I think we have to look at it like, you know,
laid the foundations from early. It wouldn't be a continuous thing. Yeah,
Conte lays the foundation from early. Klopp says that I'm comfortable with this, and obviously, I do believe he likes that kind of underdog status and that whole type of thing. Because
that's what we need to get out.
When he's the main man, it never looks good for Klopp. He starts twitching. Do you know what I mean? When we're coming from behind them with the underdogs, he can sit back and be like, oh, I mean, we're not meant to win the Champions League, so anything happens is great, and then we win it, and it's great, and it works with our fan base because we like to be those underdogs. Do you get it? We're not used to being the top.
Yeah, we're a bit shameless in that sense.
Exactly, we are. We love it. Do you know what I mean? We love the fact that we came back in Istanbul. We ride on it. Do you know what I mean? But if we went and just dominated Madrid, do you know what I mean? In the Champions League and battered them this season, it would have been like, yeah, that's great, but the Barca game's so much better because
we love that whole thing. The underdog narrative. Yeah.
Whereas when you're at the top, it's just like Madrid have a different mentality. It's like, oh yeah, we beat you, man, again.
Yeah,
we beat you, innit? Like this, simple. So yeah, Marque, quick one. He's saying, I don't want another Wenger and Kroenke situation. 100, but this is what I'm saying. But you see, this is what I'm saying. I didn't even see that comment. Is that FSG and Klopp are a marriage made in heaven because they complement each other. FSG have a model and Klopp likes the model. Do you know what I mean? It's like someone it's just perfect. It works perfectly. And I think that's the work.
How you know it's a marriage made in heaven? Because he wouldn't have signed. He wouldn't have signed that extra 2-year extension if they wasn't. So that's what gives me belief we do have a plan. But I feel that, and you know what I was saying earlier in the stream, Jerry, I feel like because we're so used to doing our business early and we want our players early in the Klopp pre-season, because you know what a Klopp pre-season is like. You've heard interviews from Sturridge, Moreno and that when he first came in, they're throwing up and whatnot. I think because we're now not getting our business done, we have got business done early, but our main priority position, we're panicking. But we need to remember, what is the day the window shuts? It is end of August, or is it a bit earlier this season? I'm not 100% sure.
I think it is end of August. I think it is
still end of August. So in theory,
let us know, innit, if you can.
Yeah. So in theory, there's still another 8-9 weeks. It's still relatively early. Like it only opened last week, maybe the week before. So I feel like we just need to calm down a bit. I feel like our fan base is panicking a lot, but because we're used to that early signing, and normally before preseason we've pretty much got our targets, but we need to calm down this year.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. Quick one from Eldis on Aaron, who says that Carvalho is enough for our midfield. Let's be honest, he is a kid. Brothers played. Brothers, he played amazing for Fulham in the Championship, but Premier League levels is levels.
Right. Can I just take this one? Yeah, one thing I'll say. I agree with you. He's not enough, but let me tell you, and I've said it. I've tweeted about this. I've said it on many streams. It's well documented. This guy, there's certain players you can just tell I've got amazing ability. It's like Luis Suarez, right? When we signed him, a lot of people didn't know. I had watched Ajax here and I'd seen him in the Europa League and Champions League. So I knew he was a talent. I'll be lying to you if I said he would become what he'd become, but I knew he'd be good. But you know that first 3 minutes of, remember that Stoke game? And he was just knew.
When he's nuts him and it's all bobbled up.
Nuts, bro. You just knew. I remember Phil Thompson even said, this guy's going to be a star after 5 minutes. He was doing a commentary on LFC TV. Carvalho, I'm telling you now, at some point next season will be a regular starter. I can't tell you when. It probably might even be towards the back end of next season, but the guy is an amazing talent. But I agree with you. He's not enough for our midfield because, like I said, he is young. And young players have inconsistencies. You can't expect them to be consistent throughout the season. Like, you only have to look at Arsenal, what happened with them. Saka, Martinelli, Smith-Rowe, they're good players, but you can't rely on them throughout the whole season. So he's not enough. But I'm telling you, Eldis, he's the truth. That's one thing. I have to always fly his flag. He's the truth.
You know what, guys? If he's not the truth, click that up because Roms is
You can click me up. You can click me up. But I think he's the truth, man. And I think that's a player that won't need to come and need time to hit the ground running. He just will. But I agree with you. Still isn't enough, Eldis. I still agree with you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, do is with me with Carvalho. The way I see it, I've never looked at age as a thing when you're playing ball.
You're ready, yeah.
You're already in it.
Yeah.
The things got to align where it's like opportunity meets obviously preparation. So Trent doesn't go and become who he is if Klein's out, and it just doesn't happen. When Trent was at right back, I never looked at him like, raw, this guy can whip a ball in, This guy's this technical. Everything comes into it. So, you know what? If Carvalho is that player, great. But on the basis of it, I can't go and say, you know what? He's going to come in and just dominate this midfield and play 30 games straight and take us to the Champions League final. And for me, that's a stretch until I see it. I think pre-season will be a big, obviously, barometer that Boo Rider staying, obviously, elephant in the room. This is Mo's last season. Bruv, I'm controversial, innit? So I'm going to stay it. You can go this season then, man.
This is what I was getting asked.
Season then, man.
Cool. Let me ask you this. No player's bigger than the club, and we need a fee for him. I agree with that. But, bro, Jerry, if he goes, who do we replace him with? I get the whole...
You change the way you play. You don't do it. Mane can't be replaced. Coutinho couldn't be replaced. Suarez can't be... these players, you can't be replaced. But you change up the system. This is where the manager comes into play. Yeah. You've been onto basketball right now, innit?
I'm getting into it.
You're getting into it. So I'll explain. See, like some of you man won't know, but you see, like the Warriors. The Warriors had, do you know what I mean? They played a certain way. They had Draymond, Steph, and Clay. They're balling out. But LeBron's team back in the day, they couldn't beat LeBron's team. What happened? They get KD. When they get KD, what happens? They change the way they play. They win. KD leaves. They have their little off-season stuff. They bring in your Andrew Wigginses. You got your, your all of them, Kuminga, all of these type of players, and they change the way they play again. Still keep that core around, and they win again. And I think that's the way you do things. You can't keep looking at it like players aren't replaceable. They're not replaceable in terms of you might not get a winger that does what Salah does, but if you've got a winger that is creative and that whips in balls, or he's like a Bernardo Silva, he might not get you the goals, but Núñez will get you the goals.
Yeah.
I think that's the way you have to look at it. And obviously, it's difficult because we're looking at Núñez thinking, is he the one? Is he not? And you're going to get guaranteed, service from Salah. But that means that we play a certain way. And when you look at it, Bobby, and I've been saying it, Bobby, Mane, and Salah, that front three, unfortunately, hasn't worked. Because if they win the Prem again, it's 5 in 6. So it don't matter. It don't matter. Listen, at the end of the day, it don't matter whether you get whether you finish on 70 points and finish second, or finish on 98 points and finish second. Yeah, you're still second. You get it.
You're second.
So for me, it's like you have to change something. It's not to say that a player is bad or it's dead, but sometimes you have to change something because it invigorates. It's something new.
You need to evolve. You need to evolve. And 100%. The thing is, again, that's actually insightful because I was very small man. I was thinking, we lose Salah. How are we going to replace him? How are we going to replace that output? But you're right. That's when Klopp will come into it, and we'll have to play a system that caters to most of the players in our starting 11.
Yes, I look at it. It's like when Coutinho left, I was devastated. I got this kit. Do you know what I mean? Thinking I got this top that I'm wearing now. Thinking, oh, Coutinho, what great! He can play in the 10 finally again. I don't want to see him on the wing anymore. Now he can dictate, and this is incredible.
Do you remember that? You remember that 6-month period of him, Bobby, Mane, and Salah, bro? We were blasting teams. We were giving. I think we gave Maribor 8 or we were giving teams.
Listen, Coutinho was going out to the left. Mane was coming into the centre. It was crazy. I had shots from Chamberlain. It was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah. But this is my point. That's what I'm trying to say. When he left, I was up in arms thinking, how are we going to replace him? And yeah, we ain't replaced the player. And that's the different situation. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you might look, we will look back on it and be like, oh, but we ain't replaced that Coutinho. Because when you look at our midfield now, we ain't replaced him. But we've done better without him. Yeah. We've done better without him. Do you know what I mean? Because when you look at it, we went and strengthened the defense and got a new goalkeeper in with that money. So you get rid of a Salah. If we go and get a backup right back and a 10, we might create more goals. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm throwing these things in the air, but it means that Trent gets his rest. So it means he's fresher throughout the season. It means we're stronger. It means that we can have a different option. If we're getting up against City, we're like, you know what? Trent, you ain't playing this game. We're going to play our defensive right back. And he's going to lock up Foden on that right and that left-hand side. That could be the difference between that 1 or 2 points. Do you understand? True. And whether you go and win a game 5-0 or 2-0, you just want the points in the bag.
On the board, yeah.
And who's to say? And this over-reliance on having a player like Salah is it impacts the team. Because what you end up having is that you've got your one-star man, and when it don't work, everyone reverts to taps and just gives him the ball, and you're like, you know what? That's it. Do your thing. And we know because we've played football, so you know it.
And just
when you got that one man that's just that good, you're like, just keep feeding in the ball, and you know it's not working. You know it's not working because his touch is off.
Yeah.
Manager's not playing him, but you're thinking, he can still create something out of nothing, and you're living off hope. We can't.
And it's taken away from everyone else in the team. And exactly. to validate your point even more, I know form's temporary, class is permanent, but we were doing that the past 6 months. And what was Salah really doing, bro? Like, since he come back from AFCON, I can only remember him having one standout game, and it was against a poor lead side. Like, other than that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
100%. And when you look at it as well, I think in general, I think especially everyone in the comments, I think have a look at this, because especially you Roms as well, if you haven't, look at the games recently just gone, like this last 2-3 months. Salah's positioning as well. He's not even making them runs from out to in anymore.
Yeah,
he's staying wide. He's staying wide, and he's allowing that channel where the 8, so where Hendo and where Trent is, to be free, because he's giving them space. Trent don't overlap.
Yeah.
Trent don't overlap. He makes them runs outside, and you get the occasional overlap from Hendo that obviously makes that run and obviously helps out Salah. But you can't do that all the time because he's also got to cover the centre.
Exactly.
And what you're seeing now is that Salah, we're seeing that shift away from Salah. But why was that? It's because the team weren't performing. He weren't performing. Mm-hmm. If he was going to go, he's gonna stay playing there.
You know that old expression, get chalk on your boots. That's what he was doing. He was literally just hugging the touchline, and you're so right. And with an aging Henderson as well, he can't really be that effect. You know what I mean? So what you're saying is so true. It's so true.
Exactly, and I think that's difficult to be that. Number 8. That's not only having to cover the centre and obviously get on the ball and try and make things happen and keep possession. You also got to be making overlapping runs for your fullback and covering your fullback and helping them out, because defensively he's not the best. Like, it's a lot. So I think that's something to look out for, because I think if Salah, obviously it looks like Salah's staying for this season at least, but I think we're going to go and see, especially with Núñez occupying that centre, our fullbacks. And I think Diaz might come inside a bit more, and I think Salah will to a certain extent as well because of our fullbacks. But I think you're going to see our fullbacks come in a bit more and create and overload that midfield. And then what you're going to have is Salah and Diaz quite wide, and they're going to be told to just take on their men. And I think you see it with City. It allows you to control possession a bit more, because when you're that wide, your fullbacks have to stretch wide.
That's right, exactly, yeah.
And it means, and then when the fullbacks come into the midfield, then the strikers or the wingers that are marking them have got to come in centrally as well, and then your centre backs pull out wider, and it opens up the pitch.
It's
something to look out for. It's something to look out for as well. Jeez, man, the comments are flying. There's 7 people here watching, man. This is mad. This is mad.
Big up
first as well. Big up to everyone, man. Big up. You're saying I agree with Jerry. CJ, our Curtis Jones needs to be pushed. Foden level pressure, 100%, 100%, 100%. And I think he doesn't get that opportunity. And I think it's because Klopp has his ideal way of playing in the midfield. I think he doesn't like mavericks and people that can sometimes, might not press as well, but can just. He might want his. His number 8 or the 6 to set the ball and then make an overlapping run for Robertson. So for Robertson to put the ball in to give him a bit more time. Yeah. But Curtis Jones might just dink inside and have a shot.
Literally, that's what the shot.
Unstable, exactly.
And that might annoy him. That's what I think. Like that's what I think stifled us in certain games. Like he wants his midfield 3 all singing off the same hymn sheet, but he doesn't want it, especially a creative player like a Curtis or Elliot or Carvalho. He may not want them to express what their strengths are, and that's what I think stifles sometimes. And to be fair, it is a model that did work, but you got to evolve because when we had the Hendo, Fabinho, and Gini, they were all workhorses. But even Gini, we took a lot from his games. You saw how he was at Newcastle before he came to us. He was getting double digits in the Premier League goals. Do you know what I mean? And even the minute we released him on international duty to Netherlands, again, I think he scored in 4 games in a row at one point.
And even in the Euros, you see where he was playing.
There you go.
Forward, and it's not like the Netherlands don't have like attacking talent that can't go and create. They could easily tell Gini just to sit back. Obviously, they understand what he's about, but I think that's what obviously comes with a team, and I think
that's a Pep and Klopp thing. Their systems are quite robotic. Like you have to be a cog to this system, and even Grealish came out and said last day of the season, even on international break, Southgate allows him to express himself a bit more. Where Pep is very like systematic.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Pep as well. When Henry went there as well, when he went to Barca, Henry was like, "Hold on, why am I standing at the touchline? Why can't Henry loved to just cut inside and you thinking, come out here, like I want to score goals, but the way the system is, you just got to follow it, innit? But it's successful, so do you know what I mean? But like I said, with Klopp now, I think there's obviously got to be evolution with that. So yeah, I was saying, I have a feeling that Curtis is sometimes lazy. He has big talent, but he's sometimes lazy and needs to start working hard to be on next level this season. Maybe, but I also feel like with Divock as well, it's difficult to get yourself up when you know you ain't going to have a run of games. Like he has one good game, he'll start, everyone's raving about him. And then it's like, you don't start the next game. He comes on for 10 minutes and then he won't have the best game because he's coming into a game where it's like a 1-0 and it's a proper cagey game and he looks out of sorts. And I think that's the difference. When Trent came into our team, there was no option but to play him.
Yeah. So he got that rhythm. He got that rhythm of games. He literally came and obviously felt bad for Klein. Obviously, you don't wish injury on anyone, but he came into the perfect situation because he knew if I play one bad game, it's not like I'm going to be dropped out. Even the Rashford situation, someone got injured in a warm up in the Europa League game. That's the only reason why Rashford emerged. Can't remember if it was Martial or Rooney, but I remember in that campaign where he burst onto the scene. Someone got injured, and that's sometimes you have to just take your opportunity. You know what I mean?
100%. And I think you have to understand that with football, a lot of it is right place, right time. I'm telling you now, every one of us knows someone that was a baller on the ends, innit? Every one of us knows that someone that was proper good. Do you know what I mean? Tearing up trees, but it just didn't work out because of X, Y, and Z. And I think, especially you're seeing in the academies, that there's loads of players like Musliowski and all these players that people are talking about saying, you know what? Like, this guy's a baller. He's the next one up. But the opportunity's got to be there. And the stage Liverpool's at is unfortunately is that unless you're that good, and when I mean that good, like you're just like Messi levels, like coming in Ronaldinho's in the team, you ain't good. It's difficult to touch that team.
That's how I feel more. And I don't know what your opinion is on Jerry, but I just can never see him. I'm not sold on him, and I could just never see him in. As long as we've got Fabinho, Hendo, and then even once they leave, we'll probably replace them. I don't think, because what he needs ideally for his career is when Fabinho and Hendo leave or whatnot, for then Klopp to say, or whoever's managing, Morton, now I'm putting my belief in you, and I just can't see that happening.
Yeah,
so you're right.
It's not going to. It's difficult, and even us as fans, are you going to be comfortable if we told you, Jones is our starting midfielder? Yeah. You're not gonna to go and win. You're not going to, but it's not because I don't look at the talent. It's because it's like, you ain't played enough, so I just don't know. Is that with Carvalho? I just don't know. Because do you know what I mean? So we want someone.
And I hear that. I do hear that.
Yeah, man. You run through his quick promo. Jonesy's confidence and playtime. Dortmund will be perfect loan move for him. Loan them. Yeah, Gordon too as well. Yeah. Do you know what it is? I'm not gonna lie. Another controversial. I don't think Gordon's that great.
Kai Gordon.
Yeah, Kai. I don't.
I'm with you. I'll still give him time because he's young, but I don't want to also just say the young thing because you're right. If you're good, you play. But I would like to get differences. Jones, Elliott, whatnot. They've had more opportunities in the first team. I think Kai only had Emirates. He started the second leg in it, but he had, and then he started the FA Cup.
Carabao Cups. He started as well. Remember when he played the youth team?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not completely sold him, but I feel like I'd give him maybe more time. But again, I can't. I was saying earlier, I can't see him playing this season. So it's like, when are you going to get your opportunity? And word to what you said earlier, it's not like previous seasons where we can maybe buy that player that has a ceiling that he can reach. No, we need proven. We need here and now. Like, we need this Prem.
Yeah, like one thing that I don't get is like people are bigging up like Kay Gordon and stuff, but like we had Suso, we had Pacheco, all players that in the academy. When I looked at them, even Danny Pacheco back in the day, these guys were ballers. These guys were serious.
Even Pedro Chirivella, bro. I thought he would be the next like Alonso and that, and we just, you know what I mean,
bro. Like that's what I'm saying. I thought that was it. So for me, it's like when I see, I think even Jones, when I saw him, I looked at him and I was like, "Oh, you got that thing about you." Do you know what I mean? Like Kay Gordon just looks to me like a young live wire. Like, do you know what I mean? You just
remember Teixeira as well.
Young. Exactly. Teixeira as well. I looked at these players. I was like, these guys are good.
I thought he would be. Yeah.
Kai Gordon to me, I don't know. Obviously, I hope I eat my words, but I don't see it working out, innit? I don't see it working out, unfortunately. But you know, big up Sean, man. Big up Sean in the chat. Listen, this guy's the 101 man when it comes to info. Everything is on point. So big up man like Sean,
Big up man like Sean.
Big up. Mark A, if no contract renewal, sell Salah this summer to reinvest or let him leave for free next summer. Sell him. I think we already addressed that in it. Like, yeah. And
you know what? This is why I big yourself up, Jerry, because I weren't sold in it at first, but you're right. You would have to evolve. You need a system change.
Yeah, because what you're gonna do? Let him go for free, and then you're crying, saying you got no peas for him. Oh, but we rely on Salah. How we're gonna replace the goals? You're gonna have that situation anyway. Do you get it?
Yeah. It'll just be further down the line. You might well
exactly. I'll eat my words. If we next season go and win the league and he's top goal scorer and he rides off into the sunset next season, cool. You done your thing in it, like cool. But if we don't, it's like it doesn't matter then, innit? We should have just got the money. Got the money. So, Eldest again. I don't know why we don't gonna sign some class midfielder this season, because next summer maybe we need to buy some class midfielder plus one or maybe even two wingers if Salah wants to go. Yeah, I agree. I think that's what we're talking about, is that obviously we need a midfielder. So big up Eldest. Market, I think we have to keep him, but also sign a winger now, so we're prepared for life without Salah. Yeah, but how do you merge? How do you get that winger playing enough games to go and be that transition for Salah? Because Salah's not like an old head where it's like, yeah, you're gonna have this experience and we can bring him in and out. Like, you know, that with Henderson, if we get a midfielder in, you can easily phase out Hendo. But Salah's gonna want 38 games in the Prem. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the issue, is that he's gonna want 38 games in the Prem, and the winger that comes in, what is he gonna be comfortable unless we get like a random youngster that we don't know about? Like, we can't. Or Asensio's not gonna come to us for 5 games a season, do you know what I mean? And coming off the bench, like
he will need assurances.
Do you know what I mean? Or what Jones has done. He's not going to be in part of that rotation. I can't see it.
He will, remember, this is a multiple-time Champions League winner. He'll want assurances.
Yeah, man. Big up John. Big up John in the car.
Big up John.
Yeah, John. Listen, like guys, I'm patterning up an outro in it. So once I get that outro sorted, listen, the tune he's dropped is crazy. It's crazy. So watch out for that. Big up, John, man.
Yeah.
117. Yeah, so that's crazy. John saying Asensio is washed.
Don't be deceived. Remember, he's at a team he plays at. I even saw him at the under-21 championship years ago, and he had something about. I just feel like he needs a manager to put his arm around him, and what better guy to do it than Klopp? But
100%.
I feel like he only excels in that 4-2-3-1. If we're still keeping a 4-3-3, then forget about, because it won't play to Asensio's strength, and we'll need to get him early in the window so he can become accustomed to the way Klopp play. That's what's key. We need to sign a midfielder as early as possible. We can't let this be in the latter stages of the window, then having to play catch up with the rest of the squad. It wouldn't really make sense.
Yeah, man, 100%. Bro, I was saying, probably he's their water by a hard pass, bro. John Asensio got the cobwebs. You can do better. We can't be taking expired food, you know. Yeah, but obviously, like we were saying, for that amount, like in this window for 35 mil, I mean, as an option, as a different option to Salah, and also in a 10, like that's someone that we could go and see. Because even like grabbing like a Maddison or someone of the sort, you're just gonna have to spend more money, which means that if we're looking to buy Bellingham next summer, even like that's less. Do you know what I mean? Less money in the piggy bank. So yeah, Asensio far from my first choice, but he isn't the worst option. Exactly.
I think that's everyone's thinking. Yeah.
John again saying, I can't tell you right now. Salah will leave. I can tell you right now. Salah will leave on a free, and I've maintained my stance since last year. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be horrible for us, to be fair. Horrible.
I hate to say it, I can kind of see it happening myself, man.
Yeah, I think if Liverpool can, do you know what I mean? Let's say they get far in the Champions League and the Premier again, and it means he helps. Then I guess it works out. I guess we've won the Prem in it, so we're making up. We've made our money essentially. Do you know what I mean, off Salah with endorsement stuff? But I think we could still get to a situation where it's just, do you know what I mean, he's not performing, and I don't know. I think you cash in on him in it, but yeah, man.
Yeah.
Prime saying Mbappe's mum is a Liverpool fan. We should sign her up in some capacity and 10 million in a couple of years. Wow, man,
I didn't even know that.
You got to get Klopp or Julian Ward. You got to get him to lotion up Mbappe's mum, innit?
Words.
Move to her heart differently. Just touch Paris, take her to the Eiffel Tower and that. John, a part of me wants Salah to leave on a free so fans can wake up and smell the coffee. FSG are whatless businessmen who are at the club for business. I don't think they're whatless. I think you've seen that we're in a position where we're spending the most we ever have, and I think we wouldn't have been there without the model in place and how FSG move. Because I think you've seen how other teams spend money. You look at Everton down the road, and they're in a mess. So I think it depends how you look at it. It depends what you want from your owners as well. So I think that's a big one. I think that's something to talk about in another, obviously, show. Matheus Nunes is a baller, and I don't know why we don't want him. For example, he's also young at 23 years old. I'm not sure of this one. Is this the midfielder?
I think he's the Portuguese. I forgot who he plays for. It's the Portuguese midfielder. Correct us if we're wrong, Eldest, but it's the Portuguese one. He has a higher potential or not, but again, he is young, and I know we were saying earlier you do need to nick them when they're young, but we also need. I think for the other roles you can, but for the midfield role, you probably need proven and actually has clout. That's what we need now.
Yeah, 100%. John again saying FSG have actually failed Klopp. Klopp has been working miracles under a regime that no manager could achieve the success. I think we were speaking about it though, but Klopp's, I mean, he's a lot. He is culpable also. If you feel FSG have failed Klopp, then ultimately Klopp has failed FSG because he's working within a system and he's happy to work within it. Because if you didn't like it, you'd leave. Like, I mean, he's not. Like, Klopp's coming in. Of course, he's adored by Liverpool fans and he's taken to the club. He's not a Liverpool fan like us. It's not like he's gonna leave and I mean he's gonna stay at Liverpool and all that. I mean, if he leaves and wants to manage again, he'll go and manage another club. He'll go and I mean his main focus will be the national side or whatever it is. So I think it depends how you look at that. So Mark Klopp has taken more responsibility in the transfer since his contract renewal. Potentially, I'd like to see evidence on that. But maybe, but I think he has done always. I think Matip, do you know what I mean? Grujic as well. They'll always sign. There are players that he went and pushed for. Karius, do you know what I mean? So, do you know what I mean? Think about it. Klopp has Wenger traits trying to defend these Yanks. Yeah, that 100%. I think if we're not careful, I think the difference is that our model isn't like the Cronkies. But I think Klopp does have Wenger traits. 100. Promo. Question is this season Tsimikas cemented the first choice. Oh, interesting. What are you saying to that? You think so?
Nah. What I will say, like I alluded to earlier, I think it's Fulham first game away, then Palace second. Tsimikas and Ramsey, for me, start both of them 2 games. We should be able to, no disrespect to Fulham and Palace, we should be beating both of them with them 2, but nah, Tsimikas will still need to do more. I think he's technically better than Robbo, and he should have played more last season, but cement himself as first choice, not yet for me. Not yet.
Yeah, I agree with that. Jen, he's not a pussy like Wenger though. Arsenal always catches stray somehow, innit?
What?
Arsenal are a joke team. September 1st it closes, yeah. So end of August essentially. So yeah. Let's try to wrap this up quite quick. Life after club will expose FSG. They end up giving the job to a yes man and not a manager who demand backing and success. I think if you've got evidence for that, I think suggest it. But I think to a certain extent, Klopp is a yes man within the FSG system. I think he's happy with how things are run. He's happy with the fact that, do you know what I mean, we're not paying Salah over the odds. I think he remember he came out and said, the day I've got to play 100 million for a player, I will never play football. I'll never manage again. I'll quit football. So I think he's someone that, like I said, it's a marriage made in heaven. I think it's very easy to just go and be like FSG. So maybe alluded to already. Marquez staying. I like Carvalho, top talent and mentality. He said he's aiming for the Portugal World Cup squad. Ooh. I mean, look, I know I watched a couple highlights and stuff in the championship and I maybe watched the one game, but I'm intrigued. I'm really, really intrigued to go.
I just want to chuck in there, regardless who we sign, he's the most excited signing for me. Like, he's the one I'm most excited for.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to pre-season as well because I think that's going to be a big one. One thing Cavalli and Elliott do that Curtis Drew doesn't enough is they both take risks. I think Jones used to go and take risks. I think he plays on the left-hand side. I think he plays on that left-hand side. I think that right-hand side is always more adventurous. I think you've seen when anytime Jones even in the Carabao Cup games is playing as the DM. He's playing as the DM. He's playing as the deepest man in midfield.
Just taking away from his strength.
But it's showing to you, for me anyway, that he's got more to his locker. And I think he's more. I think that's why he's played more games than Elliott. And I think although Elliott started the season because obviously there was injuries and Kendo came back late, and obviously he actually showed good form in pre-season. I think Curtis Jones is the next in line. So I think Curtis Jones is better there. John again saying, obviously you can replace the player. Our problem is how are we going to replace the goals that Salah brings to the team? Yeah, but like I already said, it's about the system, innit? It's more about the system more than anything. I think if you change up the system, you can always get something different. If it means, do you know what I mean, Trent doesn't, do you know what I mean, let's say Trent goes and scores more goals, or do you know what I mean, you get Trent playing further forward and whatever it might be, I think you've got to be a bit more creative. I think that's down to Klopp. I think you can't just rely on one player because I mean, if every team done that, then we just be once Salah goes, we'll be stuck in limbo. Do you know what I mean? Market 4-2-3-1 allow for creative wingers to to change the system, and could be a hint at Salah leaving. 100%. I think that's what we're talking about as well. Rafinha, the guy, yeah. Obviously, people talking about attitude and stuff.
Are you that? Yeah. There's no doubt of his ability. His ability is amazing. But are you that sold on it, Jerry? Because I know you could argue he's in a team aren't as good as us. He's round worse players, but I don't think he's as consistent as people think he is.
I don't think he is. And I think he's another one of these players like a Keita, where I think he's a big fish, small pond type of player, where he performs great in a small kind of like market.
Exactly.
But where, do you know what I mean? How do you perform when, do you know what I mean? When you're a small fish in a big pond.
And again, we don't really deal with big egos, and
that's what I'm saying. And exactly, you coming in and knowing, especially when we got Salah now, that you might not go and play, you might not play straight away. Do you know what I mean? So let's try to fly through these obviously comments quickly. So Market Elise was that guy, and he was available for 8 million. Exactly, that's that Dortmund, that Dortmund type of thing that we were talking about. Do you know what I mean? We go and snap up these players early, then obviously we're in a situation where we've got a Haaland already, and we're not having to, or Nunes, and we're not having to spend that type of money. But are we going to be comfortable putting our faith in these players, knowing that they're going to be inconsistent? Because when Sancho first signed, he was inconsistent. Bellingham was. Do you know what I mean? Even Haaland's the only one that you're like, right, you're just getting goals out of nowhere. Do you know what I mean? But all these players, do you know what I mean? They're in the market as well, where there's not that pressure to win. There's not that pressure to win the Champions League this season. Do you know what I mean? They know, if I have a good season, I'm going to move to a better club. I'm going to move to a bigger club, a bigger market. So Yeah, Ilias Rafinha has an attitude problem, like we stated. Elliot will be our Foden. Maybe, potentially. I think he's still got a long way to go to prove it. Not gonna lie, Elliot not even close to Foden. Never will be, in my opinion. Yeah, I think you can prove it. You can prove it. And you cut through some of these. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, I remember we were talking about the midfielder. So Trevella's problem was his strength. Otherwise, him as a footballer was pretty good. Yeah, technically he was really good. I think he was better than Kevin Stewart as well when we had Kevin Stewart. But I think Kevin Stewart.
Yeah.
I think Kevin Stewart,
he was technically sound, man.
Yeah, he was technically sound.
You remind me kind of a Jan Dando, you know, who we sold to Swansea. Technically great.
Jan Dando, yeah.
He didn't just have that presence. He'll get bounced off the ball a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, man. Curtis Jones in the final third just doesn't have the cutting edge I thought he'd show. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think Klopp takes that out of you. I think in the positions you're playing in, I think it's difficult. It's difficult to do that. The club need to do better when loaning our youth players. Can't be sending them to these dumb one league and championship teams. Yeah, to be fair, like Clarkson and stuff, when they went, like some of the moves haven't been great. Even Woodburn to a certain extent, I think they've been failed in that regard. I've
always said you have to loan our players to teams that play similarly to us, or at least have an attacking outfit, like a Brighton, or you could say like a West Ham, or just someone that has, or Villa, someone that has attacking outfit. So when they come back, it's easy for them to slip back into our system. That they're not like a rabbit in headlights. It's not all so new to them again. Do you know what I mean? Because you have to keep that familiarity in the way they play.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. Mark Hay saying to me, "Was KD 17? He can still play under 23 ball." 100%. But I do feel like put it this way. You can't play under 23 football until you're 23. I think if he's 17 and he's that good and we're playing him in the first team, to go out and learn and go somewhere where you're going to play games, because Sancho left and look what happened to Sancho. Do you know what I mean? You need that development. If you're good enough to play men's football, yeah, I mean, we do that. We do that. So let's finish up quickly. Yeah, we spoke about Trevella already. Not gonna lie, there's so many better players in the centre in the market right now. His winner has kind of passed, in my opinion. Nunes, Cherky, Paqueta. Yeah, Paqueta's the one that, that's decent. I think, to be fair, John's a League One specialist, isn't it? Like League One specialist. So I know he knows what he's talking about when it comes to these, obviously, French league midfielders.
Big up yourself, John, because I wasn't sold on Paqueta because I think he was a bit underwhelming at AC Milan, but apparently he's took it to the next level at Lyon, and I saw his little cameo against, not that like I watched Lyon, but I saw him against West Ham and he was causing them problems. So I can hear the
I think Paqueta, but I think the difference is that if we can get him for that 30 million mark, 100%. But you getting a Paqueta, for me, you're looking at like 40 million maybe. And I think I'm just throwing that number up, but you're looking 40, 45 million. And then it means that, do you know what I mean, are you getting Bellingham next summer? You know how we, do you know what I mean, how we move as a team. We've got to be quite financially astute. So, yeah, promo saying, I reckon Klopp gets fixated on one player and is willing to wait until that player is available. Toxic trait as a manager, in my opinion. 100%.
It can be detrimental, bro. It can be detrimental.
100%, man. Rafinha isn't consistent because he's carrying that team on his back way too much. Yeah, that could be it as well. Although, I mean, I've seen Aston Villa, do you know what I mean? That's all Grealish carry that team. And yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They did perform better, but I think he was a bit more consistent. I think Rafinha is someone when it don't go his way, he starts flailing his arms around, and he's that type of. He's got that Ronaldo arrogance to him, which I do like in a player.
Yeah.
I do like in a player, but is that the type of player that Liverpool will buy? In it, I think that's the question. So, and then we loan Paul Glatzel to Tranmere. Yeah, that's mad.
He was supposed to be our next 9 and whatnot. That was just I didn't understand that one.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. And obviously, Paqueta, City's come to Lyon, he's been unreal.
Yeah.
So just bigging up what you're saying, Rom's in it. So yeah, man, yeah. Anyway, guys, we know we tried to do an hour stream, but we've run over because we had hot topics and that to cover. I know everyone's obviously tuning into Love Island. Ekinsu moving mad, Dami moving mad. You know what I mean? So we're gonna
and that new girl that joined as well tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna chop that after.
Chop that after, man. But yeah, so before we head out, you got anything else to say? Like you can, you know what I mean?
Well, thank you for everyone in the stream and whatnot that's liked and commented, and big up Jerry James, man. This guy's full of knowledge. Slowly but surely, he's gonna be up there. The world will know about you soon. But yeah, just keep sharing this. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Yeah, man. Jerry's going to do big.
Like I said, everyone here in the chat are full OGs, innit? And yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, we're not even here for like the views and stuff. We're just chopping stuff up. Like I said, when we get these, you know what I mean, these views up and stuff, like you man will be the first to obviously be able to hop on stream. We'll chop it up. Do you know what I mean? We'll do all that type of thing, because without you guys, obviously this wouldn't be happening. And obviously big up Roms as well, because a special guest decided to come through. I saw what he did on Saints' channel. He took it over, made it his own. Bossed it, you know what I mean? Bossed it like we need our midfielder to boss it. So
yeah,
you know what I mean? Big up to Rom, man. Big up to Roms. Well, where can they catch you? Where can they catch you, Roms?
Mainly Saint LST TV. I'm his co-host. You that I'm a regular on there. You'll catch you on Big Six Bounce here and there. Big up Monts and the Big Six Bounce family. And yeah, hopefully a regular on here. Whenever Jerry needs me, you'll see my face on here as well. So that's where you'll catch me.
Yeah, man. Big up that Love Island street. Big up John. Big up Promo, everyone in the chat. Yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Obviously, if you're new to the channel, tell a friend, like Roms has said. Keep sharing. Appreciate obviously all the love in the what's it called, in the comments and everything. So big up. Peace out. Obviously, we've been at the Jerry James show. Hopefully, when I get that intro, we're gonna obviously pop it off. But for now, I'm gonna let you obviously watch that intro, innit? So big up. Peace, man. And peace, Rom, man.
That's killed it.
You made the decision to play Thiago. Klopp doesn't change the system. Move back left. You don't want to change from the 4-3.